Good morning to everybody. Real quick, I just want to touch down on these 5 individuals who were murdered in a horrible manner, homie, by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Now, these 5 individuals, they were young men and they were seeking employment in Mexico, and they called into a call center for a job. But they didn't know that that call center is basically ran by that cartel. And they're known to allegedly force individuals into recruitment and to do, dirt for the cartel and what have you. Well, the story says, allegedly these 5 individuals, they were lured, that's for sure, but allegedly they declined to be part of the cartel, and that supposedly is why the cartel killed them in this fashion. You know what I mean? They brutally murdered all 5 of them, and it's crazy, bro, because at some point, if you're being tortured, bro, and you're faced with two options essentially, right? And you're forced to choose between the two, man. One is join a cartel or be tortured. Inevitably, majority are gonna choose to go with, you know what I'm saying, the other option, man. Instead of being murdered and tortured, they're gonna end up doing work for the cartel. So what struck me, is just a lot of this is dope fueled mayhem, man. There are killers out there who aren't delirious. They're not like drunk or beaming on scante or meth constantly, and they're cold-hearted, murderous, torturous individuals. Don't get me wrong, dog, but a lot of this, based on shit that I've seen right here in the streets, escalating when it comes to violence and mental illness, a lot of it's meth derived. You know what I mean? That drug was designed for war. Individuals, kamikaze pilots for the Japanese military would take it in capsule form and fly their planes into American naval vessels, before doing a kamikaze mission. You get high on that, right? And we know that Hitler, distributed to his troops. They had kits with it. There's confirmed battles to where there was a German installation basically set up. They set up shop in Russia, and they were high on meth, man, and the Russians pretty much were kind of outgunned. They weren't going to advance, but they noticed the Germans wasting all their ammunition, firing into the bushes in the middle of the night every night. They literally wasted all of their ammunition, firing at shadows in the bushes. There was nothing there, bro. This is like a documented incident, a military, incident, that occurred when it comes to Russia and Germans. And the Germans were all spun out and wasted all their ammunition and ended up getting smoked, taken out, right? Because they're sitting there in the middle of the night. These are trained military individuals who've been at war, but once you get on that drug and you're deprived of sleep, man, you're not present. You know what I'm saying? And that, that's the least that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, people take a dark, ominous twist. It seems to attract bad energy. So when I see something like these 5 individuals, rest in peace to all 5 of them, it's sad that human beings have to. It's sad that any living organism has to endure that level of pain and torment when leaving this physical plane of existence. You know what I'm saying? That hits, you know what I mean? That's terrible, homie. That hurts my soul, bro. But at the same time, I want people to realize how easy it is to contribute to that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? For my own, speak for myself when it comes to exhibiting discipline. I'm never done evolving. I'm always gonna be pushing myself to do better, regardless of what that revolves around, homie. The specifics. We gotta do better. You know what I'm saying? None of us are perfect. You feel me? Smoking cigarettes, so on and so forth, drinking more than 1 or 2 beers, whatever it may be. We got to do better. You know what I mean? I push myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm harder on myself than anybody. But when it comes to this shit, seeing these 5 individuals murdered, supposedly given the option of joining the cartel, but declined to, nah, man. I mean, they were caught in a web of some demented individuals, majority of which, if not all, were probably on meth, having done lost their soul and any semblance of real empathy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And people were just high as a kite, probably twisted in the mind. Ended up torturing these dudes. You know what I mean? So it's it doesn't have to happen in vain. You know what I mean? You can take something away from any situation or scenario, and it's kind of like you owe. If people suffered an unjustified, horrifying fate, you feel me? You kind of owe it to them to try to evolve based on that or take something away from that, so it didn't happen in vain. You know what I mean? You got to try your best to turn the negatives into positives or the darkness into light. You know what I mean? Extract the light from it and eradicate the darkness. That's why, man, I really believe in it, but I'm always trying to tone it down. So, anyways, when it comes to meth and excess drinking and all that, and the energy that it attracts, it doesn't mix well. It's not sustainable. It's not fulfilling, and it becomes a trap. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to keep that machine going, bro, but it's unnatural. It's an unnatural level of intoxication. You know what I'm saying? You're not smoking a bit of bud or just chilling. You know what I mean? Once you pass that certain line with drinking, or once you pass that certain line and do a drug like meth, you know what I mean? Bro, you even see the soccer moms on Adderall. They're crazy as shit. Writhing around all beaming, homie. You know what I'm saying? And you got the street drug, bro, that's even dirtier, even more stepped on, and even more heavily abused. You know what I'm saying? And it creates an even higher level of drug-induced psychosis and mental illness, bro. Like, sleep deprivation's horrible in itself. Not being able to enjoy a meal, really. Not being present. You know, all the main aspects of life that make up a quality life we're living, what quality life is comprised of, goes out the window, especially on a substance like that. You feel me? We know fentanyl, Xannies, it's mostly all fentanyl now, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be, the trink dope that's moving in, all that bullshit. It's horrible. It kills people. It ruins people's lives, so on and so forth, right? But there's something a little bit different about meth. And I speak from experience, man. I used to do meth. You feel me? Then I moved on to heroin, and then I realized, homie, the highly illogical fucking aspects of them, homie. The unjustifiable aspects of them. You know what I mean? I'm in a world, homie, where it don't revolve around me, my desires, and how I feel, homie, rationalizing bullshit based upon, you know, personal satisfaction at times. Like, it don't work like that, homie. We're in a world where we're all together, dog, and our disposition alone affects the next man, dog. So if you on one or whoop, it's gonna be a detriment. It is gonna be contributing to the mayhem. But with meth in particular, you know, the other drugs kill people. They take their, you know, their free will and their purpose, homie, and their ambitions away, of course, and their entire life revolves around addiction, right? That's what addiction in general does. You know what I'm saying? You see people strung out, all, you know, perked out, homie, or smacked back on fentanyl or whatever it is, and it's obviously self-explanatory. It's terrible. They're like almost like zombies, right? But meth, on the other hand, homie, fuels another level of heightened energy and volatile behavior. You know what I'm saying? It makes individuals on edge. It gives them the ability to lash out violently, unpredictably, like an animal that might bite. You know what I'm saying? This is real shit when you're sleep deprived, but you've got excess energy, your heart's still going. What happens, and I've tried to explain this in the past, but the dream world starts to intervene with the real world because your brain is shutting down in a way. It's trying to sleep, it's trying to dream. That's why people hallucinate on meth. They're sleep deprived, and that REM sleep pattern is interfering. You know what I mean? It's trying to creep up because you need to sleep, but you're on that drug and your heart's still going. So that's why people start to hallucinate, bro. That's two worlds combining right there. And that's from a psychological standpoint. We're not even getting into the energy, only the dark and the light, you know, evil, so on and so forth, bro. So it's a whole multitude of bullshit, man. And it literally, homie, it makes people a threat to themselves and others and to animals and everything, homie, on another level. You know, because when you've got that heightened energy, you're not present in reality, homie, that's a lot more dangerous than being itchy and smack back. Trust me, homie, you know, all the drugs, they're deadly, homie. I'm not rationalizing any of them, but I think we're underestimating what meth in particular is causing. And anybody who has this on their mind or their heart, homie, that may be, you know, involved in the water still or whatever, even dealing with the issues that come from people being on one or did that kind of addiction in their surroundings of their family, whatever it is, friends, just know that, you know, that shit's not to be underestimated. And it's about walking in the light. It's about more than just some stigma or being judged by society. It's about removing ourselves from something that causes evil, homie. And this is a prime example. They dealing with weight. With a lot of these dudes are on one constantly. You know what I mean? It goes hand in hand, bro. You know what I mean? They're grabbing and handling this shit and doing it before they're on one, bro. They're beaming, and it helps push things further into that darkness, homie. It's what it attracts, you know. So I just wanted to cover that shit. Let me know what you think of the situation. You know, all them substances that I've been mentioning are unsustainable and irrational, but damn, bro, the shit that I've seen that drug meth cause on me in people, excess drinking too, but that meth will keep them going for days. It's like being just out of your mind, homie, at that pinnacle point of intoxication, but just sustained for a long period of time. I mean, look at the history behind that drug, dog. Like, we should be able to reevaluate that shit or reflect on that shit. You know what I'm saying? What it was initially designed for, people on the battlefield. You know, it make it crazy as hell. Hit that notification button, though, on a more positive twist, man. We just got to try and keep encouraging people to evolve where we can, homie. Invest our time and energy in the most efficient way possible, homie. Because we can't get ourselves into a position to where our patience runs thin. You know, it's difficult. We're all human, you know, but we all got to evolve and do better. Hit that notification button, though. Rest in peace, these 5 individuals that the Jalisco New Generation Cartel brutally murdered for no reason other than being corrupted and evil, homie, and high on meth, most likely, though. That's my, you know, it ain't all good, homie, in my eyes, homie. It is what it is, dog. That's some bullshit. I don't care if they technically ain't kids or whatever, dog. They technically grown men or adults. It's no good. So, you know what I mean? We need individuals stepping, homie, willing to, you know what I mean, do what's right, homie. I've been seeing a lot of shit right here, shit you can't even mention because it would be traumatizing to the viewers, dog. But things are escalating as those problems go over people's head and are kind of downplayed or disregarded or, you know what I mean, lumped up and generalized with all the other issues or addiction to substances. Like, you got to be able to tackle each elephant at a time, homie. You know what I'm saying? You can't just throw in the towel and say, oh, well, it's all too overwhelming. Or, you know what I mean? There's a way we can focus one obstacle at a time. You feel me? Acknowledge them for what they really are. And if anything's going to encourage somebody to progress out that darkness, homie, it's that, you know, actually acknowledging for what it really is, homie, what it really does and differentiating, homie. But anyways, make sure you subscribe.